Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. We are 4 for 4 now. We are here speaking with a former show guest. What do we call you? An alumnus, an alumni, alumnae. There's a good word for that. But I'm very excited to have Elisha Lopez on the show. Welcome back, Elisha. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm happy to be back. It's been too long, so
It's been
very
so
happy to be
long. You were on with your husband,
here.
Lewis, last time. So this is the actual real Elisha show. So
Yeah.
we get to talk and spend some time with Elisha. She's a real estate guru, and she's got a real estate school and a businesswoman, and she's just they're an amazing group. Very positive. So it's always a joy to spend time with you. So welcome back, and tell them a little bit about you. Those people who might not have caught the first show, tell them a little bit about you.
Yeah. So I am a real estate broker in Ocala, Florida. I own a brokerage with my husband. So we are husband and wife doing life, family, kids, and business together. And then we also have a real estate school, and I am an instructor and I teach the licensing class and continuing education. But I'm just, I guess, a leader that I love leading and giving from my heart and helping everybody. So that's
I
Alicia.
love that. I love the fact that you guys are already busy. You were
Mhm.
already busy when I met you. And so you've really, really begun to do a lot on the school, and we'll talk about that. Thank you, GP. We got Love coming on the show. Thank you. But let's talk about the COVID and how that. I love to ask this question, especially of entrepreneurs like you. How did you pivot? How did you shift when COVID hit? Did it impact your real estate business? Did you begin to think outside the box and do marketing different? What was that like for you guys during the process?
Well, we've always been a company that uses technology. So going virtual and a lot of, Zoom and FaceTime wasn't a big deal for us because we were doing that stuff already. We just really had to like hone in and fine tune it and get agents on board that weren't quite doing it or wanting to, the fear of seeing our faces on camera. But I think it's just been such a blessing because it's pushed our business into a better direction, and it's gotten agents on board that they necessarily wouldn't have wanted to get in front of the camera that they have to now. So virtual showings, virtual walkthroughs, everything virtual that we need to do when the consumer, they don't want to be face to face. So we give them
Well,
the
they don't,
option.
right? They don't. They
Mhm.
don't. Right now, it feels like the majority, well, a lot of people don't want to be face to face. So you all had to really take a shift on business in general
Yeah.
because yours is such a relationship versus transactional business. And so to have that relationship or to build a new relationship, what was that like when you're having to not be able to talk to your buyers and sellers in person, where you're having to do Zoom calls or all completely remote?
Um, Obviously, anything at first. You hit the bumps in the road, you hit your head a few times, and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. And I really think that the consumers appreciate it because knowing that they can still purchase, because that's so important right now, home ownership. I mean, money right now. How do you say it in your mortgage world that money's cheap? It's easier, there's more buying power
It
because interest
is.
rates are low. And what better than to um, buy a home and be in your own home. So we don't know if we get shut down again. We don't know, but it's better
No.
to be shut down in the world in your own home than staying with somebody or renting. So it's a great, great time for home ownership, and being able to do it virtually. It just makes the process so much easier and safer.
Are you going to continue, like, let's say the world goes back to whatever normal is, pre-COVID normal or as close as possible? Are you going to go back to the way you did business before, or are you taking all of the things that you've shifted and added with you?
Definitely, there's no going back. Whatever back to normal will be the new normal. It'll never be
Yes.
the old normal. And 100%. I mean, I remember before all this, when Skype was, the best way to be virtual and have face to face, they were saying that sellers wouldn't want us in their homes in 5 years and that they would want to do the listing appointment through Skype. So that's kind of where we are now through Zoom. And it's great for agents because you can have more listing appointments in one day than you can when you're face to face in somebody's home. So
That's true. You can have many more appointments. I definitely was not in the beginning when it all hit. I thought, how am I going to interact? I'm a touchy feely kind of person. And so to not be physically present in the same room, how am I going to read their body language? How am I going to understand? It's really not that difficult, but I'm old and I was an old dog trying to learn new tricks. And I think that a lot of people were the same way. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know who was going to embrace it. We knew we
yeah.
had to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that there was that most of us that I know had that aha moment. Wow, I can really make this work, and
Mm-hmm.
it's increasing my business opportunities because I can get more appointments in. I am not on the road traveling constantly back and forth. I am able to connect with more people during the day.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to me. I love to hear that you guys shifted and pivoted. What was that like
Mm-hmm.
as a team leader, as a business owner, when you had they're not employees, but you have independent contractors
Mm-hmm.
that work for you, other real estate agents that work for you. How was that in the beginning? Did you have to like really group remotely and go, okay, guys, we can all do this? What was that process like?
Well, it was such a crazy time when kind of like COVID hit and everything was getting shut down because right prior to I had to have emergency surgery. And so I was just like taken out of the loop from our team for a little bit. So everybody's like, oh, Alicia. And then the next thing you know, I'm recovering and then COVID. And so I immediately jumped on video and jumped right on to our team, in our group so they could see me and say, "Hey, I'm still here." And like, it's okay, we're gonna get through this together. And Lewis and I just that was like the instant, like that first reaction was we have to be face to face still. So we just kept running with it and we were constantly going live with them and jumping on Zooms and we're still doing it. So to be mindful of social distancing and because you just never know, we're keeping the office nice and quiet and we're doing all our training right now for our team virtually. So every morning during the week everybody's on and we have all our training and it's nice because agents that didn't come to the office for training are actually engaging and jumping on our Zooms and finally getting
Love
trained.
that.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think the training, that's where it really, to me, one of the biggest places it opened up because you can engage more people on a
Mm-hmm.
Zoom than you can trying to find a location. What if you want 50 people and you only have a place for 30? Well, you can
Yeah.
have a ton of
Mm-hmm.
people on a Zoom training.
Yep.
What about on the education side? So let's shift from real estate,
Mm-hmm.
specific real estate transactions to the education side, the CE side. Why does a broker owner, why do you have a real estate school? That seems like two full-time jobs.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I never, like my husband and I, we never said, you know what, we're gonna open up a real estate school and hey, why don't you become an instructor? It was like one of those paths that God just kind of led us on and we followed and has been such a blessing. And what we've learned from it is one, like on the licensing side, that I get to teach agents from day one. Because the way that I have my class, since I'm not just an instructor and I am a broker and I'm out there, in the trenches with our agents, and so is my husband, that when I'm teaching the licensing class, I'm giving them experience. So I've been almost 21 years in the real estate industry, and Lewis will be 25 years this October. So that's a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom. So my class is not, like, okay, here's the book, learn this, study this, memorize this, and that's okay. But in order for me to do it, I have to bring value to it. And
Well,
then I
it's
have
real
to
world. You're
know.
bringing real world. The problem, I'm an instructor. I'm also an instructor for the Central Florida Insurance School. So what I find is that people don't want to be read the book. They want to know that somebody who's, like you said, been in the trenches, who
Mhm.
understands the market, understands the challenges. It's not just about reading. Anybody can read the book and study and pass an exam at some point,
Yes.
but getting
Yeah.
out there, the problem that I found with a lot of schools, quote unquote, is that when you are done, you are not at all prepared for the reality of
Mhm.
what to do when a realtor pushes back on a contract, or like, you've done a contract, you've studied it, you have learned it, but you don't know it intimately.
Yeah. Until you actually have a deal and it's
Correct.
relevant. And that's so important. And, and like if you're in a school that it ends there, then there's nothing to transition to. And, we're not for everyone. It's not like every student I have joins our organization. We hope that they would want to, but, it's impossible. You're not going
Right.
to be the right fit for everybody. But I love how we get to have them in school and those that come on board with us. So we've been holding their hand that whole way, and we're training them and we're teaching them the right way, because that is so, so key in this industry. So many agents, they get their license, they join a company because the split was the best one out there, and they think, ooh, I get to keep most of their money. And 0% is zero, still zero. Then they're not getting the training, they're not getting the support, they're not part of something bigger than themselves. Because a lot of companies, that's just the way it is. It's you're just a number. And in our organization, everything that we do is for the greater good of our team and then our community. And we've actually just come up with like forms. It's called ORW Cares, and it's our like community outreach program from our office, because we do so many great things in our community, and COVID was able to put a name to it. And our team's just
Love
been out
that.
there in our community and donating and helping, and it's really nice.
I love the community part. I'm going to ask a question about that in a second, but I want to go back really fast. You were talking about how you want to train people, you want to educate people in a way that makes them productive based on, well, what you know. And I think that's so powerful, because I remember I used to want, when I owned the insurance agencies, I'd want somebody fresh, because if they weren't fresh, they came with a lot of baggage and they had a lot of bad things that they had learned at other places that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want at mine. And it actually, for the most part, is easier to train somebody up in it rather than retrain
Yeah,
somebody. So
yeah.
kudos to you guys. All right, let's talk about the community a little bit, because I think that's so important. Why? Why have you and Lewis always been community people? Did you? Because a lot of people say they do it, but I know you all do it. So talk a little
I, Again, same thing. I was never like with the school, like, oh, let's do this. It's just developed out of our team, that our organization, we have so many agents with giving hearts that it just kind of developed. And, when tragedy happens, either people with good hearts, their hearts grow more and they're more helpful, or, you know, the sour stay more sour. And our team were just givers. And like Ocala has been such a blessing to me and my family and to our entire team. Like, how could we not give back and how could we not help out?
I love that. I think
Yeah.
more people should incorporate community
Mhm.
into their business plan, and I'm amazed. I knew you already did community stuff, but there have been times where I don't ask, or I don't research, and I ask, and they look at me with it like a deer in headlights, because it's not something that's natural like that to you and me and to other business owners. For some entrepreneurs or just people in general, community is not even on their radar.
Yeah.
Foreign to me, but as a business owner, I can't imagine not making that one of my top three priorities, maybe top
Mhm.
two, because without that support, like you're talking about, without that involvement, it becomes so single faceted. There's no multifaceted anywhere. You have the same team. You can go from one place to other. Who wants that? You want to be
Yeah.
different. You want to
Yeah.
make a difference in the community that
Mhm.
it also gives back to you.
Yeah.
Tell me about the real estate market.
Mhm.
How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are you seeing? Because you're in a different part of the state from me. Obviously, sort of a completely different market. Really, it's not even
Right.
sort of. It's definitely. So
Yeah.
how are you seeing it?
So Marion County we say we're in this bubble because what has happened back in 2000 and what was it, 2003, 4, all the way up till when the market crashed in '08, starting from South Florida, it just kept moving up north and everybody kept benefiting from that market. And by the time Ocala, Marion County started to see and reap the benefits of the last boom, the market crashed. So we
Right.
kind of got like stuck in the middle of it all. And then we were in exponential growth. Our price point here, I mean, our median price home, I want to say is 150 to 165. So that alone is why people want to live in Marion
Sure.
County. But it's like rural. It's a nice place to call home. And the cost of living is so much less. And now with COVID, everybody wants to move away from all like the hustle and bustle of the
It's
city.
so true. I think Marion County is a great opportunity for
Hmm.
people. Marion County that I knew was all horse farms back in the day, but you're right. I think people are trying to because it's not that far from Orlando.
Yeah,
Um,
good hour
so
and 10 minutes, a
So
little
if you
less
want to
depending on
go,
traffic.
which you would normally in I-4 traffic sit in an hour at least,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. People are figuring out how they're going to shift, what they're going to do because they don't like what they're seeing, and there's fear. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that they can explore our rural areas, and Marion County is one of those. Although the growth up there is insane, I think the
It
building growth,
is.
the growth overall.
It is because we've got the World Equestrian Center that's still being built. That even with COVID, they're still building. They haven't been stopping. We have the new FedEx hub that has brought so many jobs to our area. We've got Amazon, Chewy.com. So there's a lot of opportunity now and jobs that we didn't have back when the market crashed the last time. So we're just still seeing this rise. It's a great place to be. And you like our agents, I mean, they still sell different areas. They're out in the villages, Gainesville. Some of them
Sure.
still sell Orlando, Tampa, because what's an hour? It's not a big deal.
It's not
Mhm.
as much as you all are on the phone. It's the perfect time to get caught up on your phone calls for sure. All right, I have to ask before we wrap it up. Those that go get, where did that come from?
So, a dear friend of mine and coach, her name is Coach Ella Blaine. She is Real Estate Ladies Rock, and she rocks. And she always says, those that go get. And the first time I heard her say, I'm like, yes, that's how it is, because consistency what is it, outrun or outdo skill any day of the week when the skilled person is not being consistent. So a lot of times we'll see realtors in our marketplace and they're just doing business and you're like, okay, but how in the world are they doing that? Because they're not professional, maybe. Like there's something that you can pinpoint right away and they're going.
They're
And so
going.
those that go get and just don't stop going because you will get, your time will
I
come.
love that. I think
Hmm.
that is, you're right. I have people that will come on the show that will tell me that their business is suffering. And I don't mean the normal suffering from everything, but I mean you can tell that they're at a basic shutdown. And I can tell that it's because they're in the fetal position, basically, and they're not doing things differently, or they're operating out of fear or out of lack instead of abundance. And so it is a challenge, I think, for some people When they say, I can't believe you have so many people on the show, Ted, that are doing amazingly well. Well, the running theme is basically those that go get. I mean, you can frame it a million different ways, but that's the feeling. That's what people do. So I'm very excited. All right. So tell me, how's the best way people can reach out to you if they want to learn more about your brokerage, if they want to learn more about becoming a real estate agent? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Absolute easiest way, find me on Facebook. Just message me there. That's where you can find out about everything. And we actually have our first virtual 63-hour Florida Sales Associate licensing class starting today, this evening at 6 o'clock. So now I'm teaching the whole state of Florida, not just Marion County. So, and if anyone's interested, there's still time to jump in if they've been thinking about a career in real estate, because there's a lot of career changes right now. And we're embedded in real estate.
A lot. You're always a wonderful joy to have on and spend time with. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. You've got such a great demeanor, very calming. So as an educator, that is what you guys want. Trust me, you want somebody who's calming and engaging and not boring. So reach out. I put the website, floridarealestatecareer.com, I believe. But obviously I've tagged Elisha on everything, and so we'll do it. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show, Miss Lopez. You're the best. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. You guys reach out to her. She's amazing. If you're interested in a career, just because this class is starting right now doesn't mean she doesn't have other classes and opportunities. So please reach out to her. All right. Thank you. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.